Hey everyone, Sean Taggy here, chiming in for another video on due diligence on a turnkey provider. What should you be doing? So guys, first off, let me explain, yes, you need to verify that turnkey provider you're buying from. Check them out, look at their online presence, their reviews, what guarantees and other things they have. But what I really think you need to do is kind of rewind a little bit more and kind of go over that question again and think, really, how can I do good due diligence on the property that I'm buying? Because, I mean, yeah, the turnkey provider can be awesome, but it's really the property that you're buying, not the turnkey provider per se, right? So you kind of got to take it from a two-pronged approach on definitely doing due diligence on the property and on the turnkey provider. Because, you know, there's technically a lot out there and anyone can say anything, but really you can just trust but verify what they say about on the property. And that's kind of what I've seen with other people, that they tend to just focus too much on that provider, and anyone can say anything or be awesome, but as long as you verify that property and that it's marketed as it is, like it's marketed that they're saying it's renovated and this and that on it, well, as long as you check that and that you're checking what the rents will be and the sale price and the comps and really following up on that property, you're probably going to run into less issues on the front end there. So I think first, when you're doing due diligence on a turnkey provider, is due diligence on the property. So let's kind of narrow this down into two things. Obviously, property. With any property due diligence, I think first thing to avoid, you know, any scams or any scary thing like that is just like your biggest sure sign is using a title company, right? A title company, make sure they're like third-party title company, licensed and all of that. They're a legit company and you're getting title work on the property. I mean, that is the number one way to avoid actually any scam in real estate, is use a title company. Make sure you're getting a warranty deed. If you're getting a mortgage on the property, that also verifies a lot because the lender's going to make sure the title's clear. The lender's going to get an appraisal, everything like that. So, you know, make sure it's lendable or, you know, financeable. Not necessarily mean you have to buy it with a loan, but you should be able to. You know, if the turnkey provider is like, this is a cash-only property and don't have a good reason for it, you know, or anything like that, just make sure it does have the option to be financeable, because then that means, you know, it probably will appraise, it's probably clear title, everything like that. Then on the property, then really a big thing is the home inspection, right? You need to be having a third-party home inspection and verify all those big things. They'll take lots of pictures, the cosmetics of the property, preferably lots of pictures and even a video walkthrough of that property. Making sure also the big things are your roof, your mechanicals, so your HVAC and water heater and your heater, that those are in good working condition, maybe even newer shape, and your flooring. Those are the big, major costly items, and typically flooring, like make sure it's either recently fixed up or good and stable and the foundation's good. Other big ticket items can be your electrical and plumbing, and your home inspector is going to check all that out for you. So I think a home inspection is huge. Then on other property due diligence is, you know, comps. I would look at some comps, see what the market is at. Not necessarily bad that it's bad that you're buying it at market, because, you know, typically when you're buying a turnkey property, all those items like the roof, mechanicals, and floors are brand new. And those can be your most costly items, so you are paying a premium to get those items, but you're getting a loan on the property that's going to just you're financing 80% of that. So that's pretty much kind of the pro of that. You know, maybe even paying a little bit of a premium on a property because the market's appreciating so much, but just make sure it's within market value, but especially comps on the rent, because that is one thing, you know, make sure maybe even if it is rented before you buy it, or that you're very sure it can rent, or if the provider has some sort of guarantee on the rent comps, you know, that they'll guarantee it if it's not rented after a certain time. That would be something to verify, which is something you can verify on the turnkey provider. So definitely comps your rent and sales comps. So those are your major things you really need to check out on. So really, before you do any due diligence on the turnkey provider, which you probably do both these synonymously, is the property. So then next on the turnkey provider, you know, not all of them are created equal. Not all of them do the same amount of renovation on the property as others. So I would look at that scope, make sure they have that. But I think a big one is just checking out their reviews. If you can, go ahead and visit them. One other big thing about them is if they have a property management company. I think that if they have a third party and they're just referring out that property management company, it kind of gives a little bit of a precedence for them to blame each other, right? If the turnkey provider fixed something and years later something goes wrong, well, they could just blame it on the property management company because they're not synonymous. Where if the turnkey provider has the in-house property management company, I mean, who's to blame? If they blame either the turnkey provider or the PM company, it's on them because they own both those companies. So that keeps that in there. I would see if they have any guarantees. You know, what types of things and data and other things like that. I would check out their experience. You know, I mean, someone who's done 100 plus, preferably 100 deals every year, not just 100 deals under their belt. That really shows that they've been in business for a long time, for years, and that, you know, it's really most likely if they've been in business for years and have done several hundred properties a year for those years, that a scam would probably come up pretty quickly, or false marketing or things that they're not saying correctly on the you know, on the sale of the house would pop up. So that's kind of things to check out from them. But I mean, really, like in any sales agreement, I mean, it is on the buyer, it is on you to really verify this property, make sure it's in the condition you're expecting it to be at, and all these other things, right? Then there's the provider, which also helps with the benefit of that, the credibility and the experience and the track record they have. But I would say really rephrase this question is, how can I do good due diligence on a property first? How can I know what things I need to look for? And I would start out with these things. Then, of course, narrow it down into a turnkey provider, the one you like and all of that, because then you're comparing apples to apples, looking at a property and seeing who produces the best product. So hopefully that helps you guys out and can get you started down your path to buying some awesome cash flowing turnkey properties. That's what we do here at Memphis Investment Properties, provide you with already renovated, stabilized properties that have tenants. Usually we rent them out. They're already rented before we sell them to you with a tenant lined up or already inside the property. And you can start cash flowing on your property, start getting the appreciation and everything like that. So thank you so much, guys. Reach out to us. Check out our website and the links below. And make sure to subscribe, guys. We need to get up to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Subscribe, like us, comment on this video, anything. You can even say something silly, that's fine. We just want some people to view us and get that algorithm, the YouTube algorithm up. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one.